Welcome back to From the Pages of WWF Magazine, the July 1989 issue. This is Volume 8, Number 7. By this point, the WWF is not climbing and it is established. The national expansion of the mid-80s has stabilized into something structured. Pay-per-view events are tent poles. The roster is stacked with defined personalities. The magazine itself feels polished and self-assured. We begin with Around the Ring, which functions as a temperature check across the company. The tone is forward-facing. Ongoing rivalries are referenced with urgency. There is talk of grudges not settled, challenges not yet answered, champions still under siege. The writing reinforces a key message. The WWF is always moving, and every superstar must defend their place. Fan Forum captures the emotional pulse of the audience. Readers debate the direction of their favorites. Some question officiating, others praise champions. Some demand specific matchups. The letters reflect deep loyalty to personalities rather than pure in-ring analysis. Fans in 1989 pick sides and defend them aggressively. There's a sense that being a supporter of Hogan, Warrior, Savage, or Demolition is part of identity. Then comes Body Language with Jesse the Body Ventura. As Ventura's column is not neutral. He critiques fan favorites openly. He defends rule breakers unapologetically. He leans into the idea that intelligence beats blind loyalty. His commentary adds edge to the magazine's tone, ensuring that even within an official publication, there is a space for confrontation. Newsbreakers provide structured updates, injuries, contract developments, championship implications, and match announcements. It reads like official confirmation of momentum. The WWF uses this section to establish narrative continuity. Feuds are not isolated events. They are chapters in longer stories. The personality profile spotlights Jimmy Superfly Snuka. The writing revisits his high-flying style and the legacy of his risk-taking. There is reverence in the tone. Snuka is framed as a trailblazer. The article positions him as both a reminder of the past and a competitor still capable of impact. Now, the feature section takes control. WWF interview is an exclusive talk with the Hulkster. This is the anchor of the issue. Hulk Hogan speaks in confident, declarative tone. He addresses challengers directly. He discusses the burden of representing the WWF. He emphasizes discipline and preparation. The message is consistent. Being champion requires more than power. It requires resilience. Hogan speaks about pressure as something he welcomes. He does not present himself as threatened. He presents himself as ready. There's an undercurrent of legacy here. By 1989, Hogan has already carried the company through multiple WrestleManias. The interview reinforces his position as the foundation of the WWF brand. Battle of the Titans, rugged Ronnie Garvin versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. This feature leans into grit. Garvin is portrayed as unrelenting and durable. Valentine is methodical and punishing. The rivalry is framed as rooted in pride and physical endurance. There is emphasis on sustained punishment rather than spectacle. It reads like a fight that would not end quickly. The writing highlights tension built over time. This is not a random matchup. It is the continuation of personal issues where respect and toughness are at stake. The Ultimate Warrior's War. The Warrior battles Rude for his title. The Intercontinental Championship sits at the center of this feature. The Ultimate Warrior is presented as explosive, intense, and singularly focused. Rick Rude is portrayed as calculating, arrogant, and technically capable of exploiting weaknesses. The magazine frames the title as a proving ground. Warrior's rise is accelerating. Rude's pride will not allow surrender. The feud is described as volatile. Rude does not simply want to win. He wants to humiliate. Warrior does not negotiate. He overwhelms. The championship feels significant here, not secondary. Brutus humiliated. Macho Man and Sherri strut and cut. Randy Savage and Sensational Sherri are positioned as theatrical and cruel. Their treatment of Brutus Beefcake is framed as deliberate humiliation. The article leans into the psychological aspect. Savage is not just defeating opponents. He is attempting to embarrass them. Sherri amplifies the arrogance. The feature emphasizes attitude as much as action. This rivalry is fueled by ego and insult. Demolition vows to wreck the Twin Towers, axe and smash, warn Akeem and the Big Boss Man. The tag team division receives serious attention. Demolition is presented as dominant and unapologetic. The Twin Towers are described as powerful challengers capable of disrupting that dominance. The tone suggests impending collision rather than hypothetical tension. The article builds anticipation for a confrontation between brute force teams. Tag team wrestling in 1989 is not filler. It is structured and competitive. Inside information, Andre and Heenan have a plan for John Studd. This piece leans into strategy. Andre the Giant, aligned with Bobby Heenan, signals calculation. The article hints at positioning and maneuvering. Heenan's mind and Andre's presence combine into something potentially destabilizing. John Studd becomes the focal point of this strategic planning. The tone suggests that alliances matter just as much as strength. Fistful of dollars, Jake Roberts seeks revenge against the $1 Million Man. Jake Roberts is framed as focused and intense. The $1 Million Man is framed as wealthy, composed, and confident in his leverage. The feud is built around insult and retaliation. Money versus menace. The article emphasizes that Jake's motivation is not financial. It is personal. The $1 Million Man represents arrogance purchased through wealth. Jake represents something harder to control. The departments continue reinforcing structure. WWF Trivia Test challenges fans on knowledge of titles and moments. Private Eye analyzes developing situations with investigative tone. WWF Lowdown keeps the news cycle active. Wrestler's Rebuttal allows the Rougeaus to verbally attack the Rockers, intensifying tag team friction. WWF Crossword continues interactive engagement. Caught in the Act offers lighter moments to close the issue. The advertisements reflect the company expanding its reach. The WWF Superstars arcade game promises the ability to slam opponents electronically. Wrestling is now playable in arcades. Subscription offers encourage fans to commit to 12 issues at discounted rates. Merchandise promotions push apparel and collectibles. Mail order forms reinforce that WWF is not a weekly experience. It is year-round participation. July 1989 feels stable, yet competitive. Hogan anchors the top. Warrior surges. Savage and Sherri stir conflict. Demolition stands firm. The $1 Million Man plots. Jake hunts. Valentine grinds. Garvin resists. The tone of the magazine is confident. The rivalries are clear. The characters are sharply defined. The WWF machine is synchronized. This is late 80s WWF in full stride. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.